It is the NBA draft, and with the 18th pick of the draft, the Miami Heat selected Jaime Jaquez Jr. from UCLA. Locked On's NBA draft coverage is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA, and they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you that. Now, with that, let's bring in our host of Locked On Heat. That's Wes Goldberg. Wes, what do you make of this Jaime Jaquez Jr. pick? What does he add to the roster for the Heat? He just went to the NBA Finals, but we know there are still some things that they needed to add in order to win the finals, right?
Right. And this is exactly what Pat Riley said in his end of season press conference that the Heat were looking for. He mentioned specifically wing length and versatility and ball handling. And those are all the things that Jaquez brings to the table. He's 6'6", 6'7", with a 6'10" wingspan. So he has that length. All right, check. He has great footwork, especially on offense when he's trying to drive the lane. He's got that stop and start ability, just great feel, high basketball IQ. And everybody that's been around this guy says he's one of the hardest workers that they've seen in UCLA in a very long time. And you think about all these things and you're like, all right, hashtag Heat culture, boom, check that one too. And then on defense, he's one of the stronger defenders, one of the stronger wing defenders in the draft. He's a guy who could guard multiple different positions, right? And so that was another thing that Riley said. We talked about defensive versatility. So check that box. He was on my radar in terms of guys that the Heat might be looking at. This one just made a lot of sense.
One of the things that strikes me too is his age, right? When he gets to the Heat organization, he'll be 23. He's not one of these one and dones who's maybe 18 or 19. How much do you think age plays into readiness when it comes to the NBA and to fitting into that hashtag Heat culture?
I think it's helpful. I think the Heat like to see that big body of work also that he had at UCLA. And they're looking for guys who are mature that can walk into a very mature locker room, right? I mean, this is a team that has a 32-year-old, 33-year-old Jimmy Butler. There's a lot of veterans in that organization. And so, look, they haven't shied away from getting young guys in the past. Bam and Tyler Herro were really young when they drafted them. Nikola Jovic, who they drafted last year, wasn't even graduated from high school when they drafted him. So it's not like they're against drafting young guys, but I think, like you said, coming off of that NBA Finals run, I think they were looking for guys who can contribute right away. I don't know if age was sort of like a swing factor for them. I just think that they liked what they saw out of Jaquez, and they liked knowing, okay, this guy has an established body of work. There's not a whole lot of guessing here at number 18 for us. We feel good about this guy.
Now, in seeing Jaquez, does he help fit some of the needs that the Heat had? When we saw them go up against Denver, you could see that there were some discrepancies, right? There was a difference between the Heat and the Nuggets. Does Jaquez fill that? Does he fit the build there? And if not, what else do the Heat need as the offseason progresses?
I think he definitely fits a need. This is a team that was severely lacking in length, especially on the perimeter. It was basically Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, end of list. Like, that was really it, on the perimeter of guys that they trusted in sort of a big playoff setting. They tinkered with Haywood Highsmith here and there, but not really. He fits, he fits that. If you think about that specific Nuggets series where, you've got guys like Michael Porter Jr. that they had to basically play Max Strus on. Max Strus was giving up 6-7 inches in that matchup. Aaron Gordon, they basically had to put Jimmy Butler on Aaron Gordon for different times when they were getting involved in switches. I think the other part that they like about Jaquez is that he was already weighing in at like 225. Mm-hmm. So he's a strong player as well, right? And so he's got a proven body of work in terms of being a very good defender at the college level. He projects as being a very good defender at the NBA level. And these are the things that they kind of need, because we know that the Heat like to throw out a lot of different defensive looks, a lot of different looks on offense. And he's a guy that can kind of just plug and play into all those different kinds of looks potentially.
So we've talked about what Jaquez will bring to the Heat and what they need to add to the roster, but what else would you still like to see from them?
Yeah, I think one of the things that they got to do is address their backcourt. I don't think that we're going to be seeing them bringing back Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent. I don't think that they're going to be in a position to bring back Duncan Robinson and Max Strus. So can they go find more young talent to kind of back up the guys who do return next year? I think that's going to be a big part of what they're doing. They also probably have to address the backup center position. But, I think when Pat Riley says they want to add length and versatility and size and all these things, it doesn't just stop with one player. I think they want to address that sort of lack of length and athleticism and size across the board at every position. And I think we'll continue to see them do that. Now, they don't have a pick in the second round. They can always buy a pick in the second round. They can always do something where they can make their way back into the second round. But the other big lingering question, too, is this guy even playing for the Miami Heat when the season starts, or is he involved in some sort of Damian Lillard trade or another trade for a superstar of that kind? Nobody knows the answer to that. That's going to be something that probably gets answered in the coming days. But for now, I think when they draft a guy like Jaime Jaquez, they envision him potentially suiting up for the Miami Heat.
What are you hearing about the Damian Lillard rumors and what's going on with how the Heat want to build up this roster for next season?
I think Damian Lillard is still playing. Yeah, I think Lillard's still plan A for the Miami Heat. With the Trailblazers drafting Scoot Henderson, I think that was very much expected from everybody. I think it was expected by Damian Lillard that was going to happen. But now it's happened. Now it's real. And now you get to have that next conversation, right? And that conversation is with Damian Lillard. This is kind of, if you're the Portland Trailblazers, here's our plan for the offseason. We love Scoot Henderson. We want to keep him. Are you down for this kind of youth movement? And if Damian Lillard, as expected, says no, then maybe the Trailblazers start fielding some offers. Maybe they agree to trade Damian Lillard. And if that's the case, we know that the Miami Heat are going to have an offer ready to go. Whether or not that includes somebody like Jaime Jaquez Jr., that's maybe up to Portland, whether they're high on him and like him. But that seems to be the next step probably for the Miami Heat, for the Portland Trailblazers, and for Damian Lillard.
Should we put you on the spot and ask how likely it is that Miami gets Damian Lillard to continue to contend?
I don't know that I could put a percentage chance on it, but my gut feel right now is that I don't think Lillard is playing for Portland next year. It just feels like we're trending in that direction.
That's a safe answer, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Okay.
Wes, thank you for your insight. We appreciate it. For more on the Miami Heat, make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On Heat podcast, wherever you get your podcast. That's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Wes, great insight. Much appreciated.
Thank you.